Hey, it's Christy and Amanda.
Two girls from Saskatchewan, Canada, living the Reiki life while working the 9 to 5.
Hey everyone, welcome to Living the Reiki Life. You're here with Christy, me, of course, and my co-host Amanda. So today we have a solo episode and we are going to be diving into self-Reiki practice. And we have lots of good little wisdom nuggets to share with you about like our own experience and some tips and things to do. So it's a topic that we've wanted to touch on for a while. So I'm excited about this one. But first of all, I want to check in with Amanda and Callie and see how everything's going.
Yes, hi. Yeah, recording looks a little bit different at the moment because I have a very fresh baby who is exclusively breastfeeding. So I'm sorry if you hear her a little bit in the background, but we're rolling with what we got here. And so things with me are going well. Body is healing. So it's a really good timing for this episode because I've been doing a lot of self-Reiki, right? While I let my body heal from labor and delivery and honoring where I'm at here. And for an update for me. So really fun. I've been Reikiing my daughter, Callie, of course. And I was telling Christy, it was really interesting because I was scanning her chakras and they all kind of felt like rather dim. Like I was expecting them to be wide open and they weren't, but her aura was very wide and very far. So I thought that was super interesting. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing it and see if things kind of change or progress. And, she's just like working her little energetic system and her, getting into her physical body, right? So she got so much going on. So I thought that was super interesting. If anyone's ever scanned a baby's chakras before, I haven't. I can't even think I did with Bo. I don't think I mindfully did that. I was probably so in the thick of things, I wouldn't even know what end was up at that point. But, but anyways, yeah. Yeah, so that's what's going on.
No, that makes sense about the energy. It's just like I picture like something being built right now. So it's like everything is kind of building in a building phase. So it's not going to be like everything's going to be on and switched on. It's just slowly going to be coming on. So it's really interesting because I feel like it'd be a cool journey to pay attention to as you go and just see like where those chakras, like maybe one will light up before the other one I think it's neat.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see the progression too.
Yeah. Because I don't think I've ever done Reiki on a baby before. No, I don't think I have. I've tuned into like their spirit guides and stuff before, but I've never actually done actual Reiki. But it's more like you're just scanning. You're just kind of getting a feel of things, hey?
Yeah, exactly. And then sending it. But anyways, yeah. So what's going on with you, Christy?
Yeah, so Pisces season. I was just, before we hopped on here, Amanda and I were just chatting about the end of Pisces season and the end of that astrological year. And I'm going to be honest with everyone. I don't follow the moon phases as closely as I did in my journey at the beginning. Like it would be a full moon, be grabbing my crystals, I'd have my journal. What do I want to release? Like all of that. I don't do that anymore. I do like when I go outside and I see the full moon there, I'll just stand there in its glory and just like, like a quick little check-in. But I'm not like super intentional about my rituals. But it's funny when I think about it, it's like when we share these new moon and full moon updates, they're always in the back of my mind. And as I was talking to Troy and as he's moving through things, and I was just like, wow, like dream time has been really vivid. Emotions have been high. There's been things coming to a close. And I was like, Troy was like, today's a new moon in Pisces. I was like, this all makes sense. He's always such a mirror to what is going on astrologically. And he doesn't follow any of this, but he's always like very intrigued about what's going on because he's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So I was like moving through a lot of, I felt like a cleanup crew was coming through to clean things out before going into the Aries season. So I was like crying at the most trivial things. Like I was watching Virgin River on Netflix. Have you watched that one, Amanda?
Oh,
No? Yeah, it's a cute little drama, and I don't know, like I watched the finale and I just like bawled, like these were real people and real stories, and I was like, what is wrong with me? I was like, why am I crying so hard? So I went into my toolkit, of course, and I have this one homeopathic remedy that was matching my symptoms, and I took a dose of it. And the beauty of homeopathy is like it meets you where you're at, and it's gonna help you get rid of things that are no longer needed. That was my intention with taking that remedy. So later, I believe it was that day or the next day, I was driving on the highway and I was going pretty fast on the single lane, and I heard a little voice in my head. It was like, hey, slow down. Like, why are you going so fast? And I was like, oh, la la, not listening to it, still going fast. And I seen a rabbit in the ditch, and I was like, oh no. Oh no. And I was like, don't you stay there. Cause I always say a prayer of protection whenever I'm traveling and remove wildlife from my roadways. And for all the highway driving I've done, I've been very fortunate not to have any run-ins with wildlife. But this rabbit did dart across the road, and I did end up hitting it. And I had to pull over because I was like hyperventilating. I was so upset. And I just like, I have not cried that hard probably since I was a child. Like I was like, couldn't breathe. And then I phoned Troy, and of course Troy thinks the worst has happened. And here he's like, a rabbit. He's like, oh, okay. He's like, but no, he's like, I'm going to still hold the space of what you're moving through. And I just like cried. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I just felt like an awful human. And because I love animals just so much. And, but as I moved through and let those tears flow, I checked in with myself, and I was like, holy cow, do I feel 10 pounds lighter? Like I felt like I released all my stored up emotions from the entire year in that one moment. And it was like, yeah, like a aha moment of clarity. And then I was like, well, like, thanks for that. Like, I guess like looking back, it's like I was upset about the rabbit, but of course there was more to it, and there was more stored in me. And I feel like that remedy I took wiggled something loose for everything to come out. And I don't know if it's you and I that have talked about, a lot of people don't know how to cry properly.
oh, no, I don't think that was
No.
me, but I agree with you.
Yeah, someone told me that, and I was like, what? You just cry? But I was thinking, no, like sometimes, like I'll have a cry, but it's like I don't feel like I cried it all out. It's like I don't even know if I want to make this comparison, but it's like if you're taking a poop and you don't feel like you fully pushed it out, it's still in there. It's
Yeah.
still bugging you. That's what I felt like. That's what I felt like my crying was. It's like it's still like I cried a little bit out, but it's not all coming out. So yeah, an explosive cry, and yeah, bless that rabbit's soul. But yeah, and so that was the end of Pisces season with a bang. So yeah.
Well, and then of course, I can relate to your explosive crying. Because, right, me being so postpartum and so sleep deprived right now, you guys, like, holy crap. I knew I was tired when I was pregnant at the end there, but like, this is all next level stuff. And yeah, just like the crying on and off. I'm sure the Pisces season didn't help. I'm like, everything compounds together, but holy
Yep.
crap, me too. And I know exactly what you mean about like pinching it off, because it's like, can't get it together. But then where does that go? It goes into
Yeah.
my stomach. It goes into my anxiety. It just like feeds all those other nerves that don't need to be fed right now, instead of me just allowing myself to fully cry. But
Yeah. Just
yeah, I
let it.
hear you on that.
Oh, because it just feels so good. And it's like, when you have a good BM, it's like,
Yeah.
it is good. Life is good. So it's just the same with crying things out, just releasing however it has to come out of you, because it's going to go somewhere if you don't
Yeah,
release it.
exactly.
And that's really fitting for what we're going to talk about on this episode here. So, but before that, let's, go into the moon. What's going on?
Yeah. So we got the full moon on April 1st, actually, and it's going to be a pink full moon in Libra. So it's actually funny because it's a really cool time because it lands right on the start of the astrological new year, right?
Right.
So like heading us into that Aries season. But yeah, so Libra is a air sign, so all about communication. A lot of the themes are around relationships and harmony. It's also the balance card in the tarot deck. Balance, sorry, the justice card. I always want to call it balance because it's a woman who's usually holding two-way
Yeah.
scales, depending on which tarot deck you're looking at. And I always think of like energetic balance or, people getting justice. But anyway, so yeah, justice card as well. And for this full moon, it's a really good time to like really bring our relationships to the forefront and where it kind of feels like the balance has been lost. So just like justice card and tarot, this moon really like invites honesty and energetic recalibration and deeper alignment in how we give and how we receive love. And it's a really powerful time to start releasing people or patterns or anything to help us return to that harmony within ourselves. So I'm actually really going to take advantage of this full moon right now because I just want to release all the other hormones and everything else and emotions, right? And being able to even just communicate with myself what I need in this moment as I'm going through a really big transition. And I want to make sure I'm releasing that out before we go into this new year
Hmm.
that we are heading into with the April season. So I highly recommend anyone else feeling like that right now, especially after we came out of that Pisces season. We're
Yeah.
just like, all right, time to start fresh and talk out what I want to bring in. And then we got the new moon on April 17th, and this one is in Aries. So we're going into that fiery energy. So, Aries, of course, is a fire sign. It is the emperor in the tarot deck. So it can hold a lot of like a lot of masculine energy, right? Because it's like how we get stuff done, um, how we kind of take our lives like forward and things like that. But with this new moon ignites a power, obviously, of new beginnings, right? We're heading into that new year. So, calling you to really step into your sovereignty and take action. So, the emperor and that male energy is that action energy. This energy supports bold leadership and self trust. And it also sparks like new ideas and desires. So get creativity going. And this is an invitation to obviously a fresh start. So guided by courage and not fear. So use this fiery energy. It's a really fast moving energy too, usually. Usually fire has to do with the wands in tarot as well, which is a pretty quick moving energy. So yeah, definitely move from a place of courage and strength and not fear. Mhm.
Not fear. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that message. And I love Aries season. It's just so needed after the winter we go through in Saskatchewan. And I just like feel like the days are longer. There's more sun and just that energy just shifts. And I just really freaking love it. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and it's a really good way to like kind of get empowered again.
Yep.
Especially if you kind of feel lost after like that longest winter month of life. So it's just like time to regain who we are and remember who we are and get stuff going.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when you think of like the Aries season and then like the first house, it's all about self. And it's really
Yes.
funny the timing of our episode here. We're talking about self Reiki going into self. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get into that.
Okay. Yeah. So I, if you're here listening to this podcast, you are most likely a Reiki practitioner and you do know about what self Reiki is. But we just wanted to give like a quick rundown in case someone is brand new to Reiki and this is the first episode you're tuning into. And self Reiki is essentially just a simple practice of placing your hands on your own body and allowing that energy to flow where it needs to go.
Absolutely. And like you obviously learn self Reiki when you get your level 1. And it's really important that people really commit to doing self Reiki after they get their level 1, just to get really familiar with the energy. And of course, the more we practice doing self Reiki, the more we get familiar with the energy and the stronger the sensations and everything get. And we get more connected to the flow of the energy as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just reading in one of my books here before I hopped on about the importance of self Reiki. And this one author, she believes that the most clear, best, or I don't forget the word she used, but like, I guess you could say the best Reiki practitioners are the ones that have a consistent self Reiki practice themselves, because we're keeping our vessel clear. So then we can be able to channel and clear and help other people, right? So we're filling our cup up first. And she also had a really good analogy for the Reiki energy flowing. And she said it was about, like, if you think of a sponge, a dry sponge, and it gets wet. So that water knows where to go. You're not like telling the water where to go on the sponge. So if you think of that Reiki energy flowing through your body like water on a dry sponge, it's going to go where it needs to go. Reiki is so intelligent that we can just trust that when we are doing Reiki, it's going to flow. And the other beautiful thing is, like, instead of always outsourcing our healing, it's like, I feel like things are shifting where we need to focus inward. And it's like you have the power to heal yourself. And it's like you're tuning into yourself. What makes you feel better? Like, what messages does your body have for you today? Like if you have a neck ache, it's like, is somebody like being a pain in your neck today? Is there something going on? Is there a message there for you? And it's just, instead of like popping the Tylenol and walking out the door and running to work, it's like taking that extra 5 minutes and placing your hands on your neck and just tuning into your body and being like, okay, what do you need to move through this in this moment? And it's just like hearing those whispers of your body before they turn into screams, like, of course, physically, mentally, spiritually, like it's all connected. So I think it's just such an amazing practice to always go back to, but also to build consistency.
Yeah. And then too, when you're doing that self Reiki on a regular basis, you kind of clear out the stuff before it can compound and get
Yep.
really into physical pain too. Another benefit, of course, right? So even if we don't really notice maybe a huge shift because we're just getting rid of all the dust
Mm-hmm.
before it turns into grime,
Yeah.
like and it's sticking.
That's a good way
Yeah.
to put it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And we're not, of course, talking about you having to move through all the hand positions and make sure you're spending 5 minutes at each one and doing that. Like we're talking about you can give yourself Reiki at any time, like
Mm-hmm.
going through like if when I'm having my coffee in the morning or like if I'm stopped at the traffic light, like all those little things that we do like really do count. And like I can share right now like when the importance of like when I'm teaching level 1 and going through self Reiki, like it is really important to get familiar with that energy, and whether that's scanning your chakras just to kind of see where they're at, or if you want to just do spot treatments on yourself because your neck is sore
Mm-hmm.
or because your wrist hurts. My wrist was weirdly flaring up yesterday, actually, Christy. And
Oh.
of course, I'm like overanalyzing it. I'm like, okay, it's the right side. What am I trying to control? Why is my wrist aching? And I'm like, I feel like I'm in like no control right now. And I feel weirdly okay with it. It's just funny that it was happening. And today was fine because I was like giving it Reiki. I didn't
Right.
have to go through my whole body, but I was like, hey, well, like I can help myself and place my hand on my wrist and give myself some Reiki. So it's
Yeah.
just a really good practice too, especially if you got your level 1, like get in there, start taking care of your own body.
Yeah, 100%. And I was also thinking about like a way to remember to do self Reiki is I wanted to call it like a Reiki snack. Instead of like, sitting down for a whole Reiki meal, like a 30-minute full body treatment, do the Reiki snack at sitting at that red light. Like the one book I was reading by Lisa Campion, she said she's at a red light, she'll place one hand on her heart. And it's just those simple snacks that just over time are, going to make a difference. And, when I think about calling my own self out here about that release I had, if I would have done self Reiki consistently and, take out the trash at the end of the day, maybe I wouldn't have had to have that massive release to release all of that. So it's like, yeah, it's just really
Amen.
inspiring. Yeah, to do self Reiki because it's like with myself, I don't do something until something happens. Like I'm not proactive. It's like, oh, okay, now my neck hurts. Now I'm going to do self Reiki. It's like, but why don't we do it proactively so it doesn't get to that point? So I'm sitting here, I'm human, I'm not perfect, and I know a lot of people can probably relate to what I'm sharing.
Yeah, it's actually the best when I'm teaching regularly because it reminds me, right? I've been forcing this into my students and I'm like, okay, yes. And then I get into like a good rhythm.
Yeah.
And then yeah, yeah. But of course, right now I'm in a different rhythm. But yeah, the self Reiki is super important.
Yes. Yeah, and I guess the next thing we could talk about is like why this practice matters. And of course we can talk about like the many health benefits for having that consistent Reiki practice, but I feel like my favorite part is tuning into yourself and building that trust and relationship with your own mind, body, and spirit, and just like lowering your stress levels. It's funny, like as I'm sitting here, before this, I drove on the highway home and I had a coffee, and I usually don't have a coffee at this time of the day. And like, I have anxiety from all this caffeine. So I've been sitting here with my hand on my heart and hand on my belly, just trying to process this energy out because it's just like, it's a little intense right now. But what else I wanted to talk about was also our nervous system, how beneficial Reiki is to the nervous system. Like, of course, when you go for a Reiki treatment, that's always my focus and my goal is to calm that nervous system down so the healing can happen. And the healing journey that I went through with a naturopathic doctor that specializes in acne, because I dealt with acne for like 10 years. And right off the hop, she told me, we got to calm your nervous system down. I have a meditation that you need to listen to every day before we do anything else. Because she said, you can eat all the clean food, you can do the training, you can do everything. But if your nervous system isn't calmed down, this isn't going to do anything. And, when I first heard that, I was like, yeah. Like, I know a lot about the nervous system, but I like didn't want to, I don't know. I was just kind of being stubborn, I guess. And she was right. She was very right until I shifted myself out of that fight, flight, or freeze into like the more, more calm and not like on edge all the time. That is when the dial moves. So if you're trying to find your why for yourself, Reiki, just ask yourself, like, if you want to go down like the nervous system path, like that could be your why, trying to calm everything down. And also like when you have that why and say it's like, oh, I'm running late this morning, I don't have time for my Reiki practice. It's like tuning into that why and tuning into yourself is so essential. Like having that why. Why am I doing this for myself?
Yeah, and it's really important to have those quiet moments and to listen to your body too.
Yeah.
Just to even just hit up that one or two spots too, right?
Yeah.
I agree with that lady about having to get control of your nervous system.
Yeah.
Like, holy man. I just think of someone who's like, really spiky as opposed to somebody who's more smooth, right? And calm and collected like water. And it's just even the Reiki would, if you're trying to give yourself Reiki and you're hyperventilating, imagine what that's trying to push through as opposed to someone who's just kind of taken a few deep breaths and have calmed everything out.
Yeah. 100%. Like your body is like worried about something else. It's like, I'm not going to heal. I don't feel safe. Like what do you want me to do
Yeah.
here?
I know, and I've had clients like that too, right? Where it's almost like I think I've used this metaphor before, but it's like trying to give somebody a hug, but their arms are like crossed in front of you, like,
Oh,
don't hug me.
yeah.
It's kind of that same thing. It's like we need to calm everything down and open ourselves up first.
Yeah. That's a really
It's a
good
good idea.
visual. Yep. I
Yeah.
like that.
Hmm.
All right. So let's get into what it can feel like. So from your experience, Amanda, like what do you feel when you're doing self Reiki?
I feel like a lot of like hot and cold for sure, like when I'm doing Reiki and on myself, but I can also feel where like my energy is and in my body. So it's almost like a magnetic pull kind of. And I can even gauge like how open my body is and things like that, but it's almost like a current, if you will. So I can feel that energy like whooshing. Sometimes it's even like waving underneath my hands, and I can either feel like my body sucking the energy into it, or I can feel like um not really the opposite, but yeah, I can just feel when my body is pulling energy in. It's almost like a throbbing. It's really quite interesting. But I know for a lot of people, it can feel like many different things, hot or cold, or like even like staticky. They can feel it like that. What about you? What are you feeling?
I always feel a lot of heat, especially around like the hand plate. Like if I'm doing the traditional hand placements, like around the head, like there's always a lot of heat there. And sometimes when I have the intention to do the traditional hand placements, before you know it, it's like I'm standing and doing like qigong and just like flowing the energy out. It just really depends on the day and my intention, but I feel like my hands are always moving if I'm doing like an intuitive Reiki session, I guess, with myself. But if I'm laying in bed and I'm trying to clear my mind before I'm going to bed, I think like my favorite thing is just doing like the hand placements around the head and on the temples. And, it's funny, like as I'm thinking about it, like I'm not really tuning into the feeling. Like it's funny because you're feeling what's going on in your hands, but then it's also your own body. So it's like, what am I paying attention to? So I don't really focus too much on how it feels. I just trust that however it's flowing, it's going where it needs to go, I guess.
Yeah, that's funny. Hey, you're trying to feel it. Yeah. Being the practitioner and the receiver at the
Yeah.
same time. That's funny. Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, you got both hats on there. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And how about like when we're like getting started? What do you recommend for people who are just trying to get started in self Reiki?
yeah, I think like if you're a newbie and you just have your level one, or say you are a Reiki practitioner and you are coming back to this practice after a while, I would start with the traditional hand placements and get a feel for what that feels like. Because I think sometimes when we don't go in with a plan, we don't know what to do. So if you go in with the traditional hand placements, you're doing what you need to do and just kind of, I feel like that would be a really good place to start. Or you could also scan your chakras and just kind of get a feel for how all of that goes. But I think starting with those hand placements would be the best place.
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of want something like more structured. Like, no, just tell me what to do so I'm not like, am I doing this right? Like, is this okay? I
Yeah.
feel like there could be a lot of that, especially if you're really trying to take it on by yourself. And it's like, okay, I went to the class and I took my one. Now I'm out on my own. And it's just like, am I doing this right? Kind of
Yeah.
comes up, right? So it is probably a really good idea just to have some guidance. And like, if you didn't get standard hand positions, like pictures of what they look like, you can Google them.
Yeah.
There's like, even the ones that I give out to my students, they're from like 1980. They're really old school. So I even found some newer ones that are look more modern that I also give suggestions to as well. Because there's no right or wrong for the Reiki hand placements, but it's just to give you an idea of where to go, what you could do. And then if you want to be guided to go somewhere else or adjust accordingly, by all means, we always encourage that.
Yeah. Yeah. 100% to always like trust that intuitive sense. Like if I'm over my eyes and I feel like my hip is like twinging or like doing something, it's like maybe I
Yeah.
put one hand on my hip and still keep that one hand over my eye. And maybe something's connected there that's moving through. And Yeah, you just never know. And I think also if you meditate or if you do breath work, I feel like you can always weave Reiki into anything else that you do as well. And being in the bathtub is actually another really good place to do Reiki. I really like doing it there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, because water is so healing, especially, right?
Mhm.
But I've really enjoyed doing Reiki at night before bed on myself.
Mhm.
And so I'm like literally laying in bed, and especially just with me healing my body. And then Callie's like in the bassinet beside me. And I am like sending Reiki to me and her. And then I have my hands, like my palms face up so I can receive the Reiki coming into my hands. And then I literally am talking so nice to my body. I think that's key too. Like
Yes.
I'm just like so much gratitude to my body for healing like it can, and it's healing so quickly, and it's amazing. And then I'm feeling the Reiki flow into all the areas of my body, just kind of like go into wherever they need to go, and then
Mhm.
allow my hands kind of to move. So wherever they want to go. So right now, a lot of it's like near my sacral and my solar plexus, but it's another thing you can do is scanning your body too. And this comes maybe when you've done a lot of self Reiki and you feel comfortable doing this, is just allowing your hands to kind of glide over your system and just see where they get sticky and what maybe needs your attention if you're unsure.
Mhm.
So you can always do that as well. But for a lot of the time, I'm even just laying with my hands down by my side, and I'm pulling that energy down into me and allowing it to go wherever it is while my hands don't move at all. So
Oh,
just keep that in mind. Yeah,
yeah.
something I discovered.
I like that. And just like we forget how important or powerful intention is. If you set that intention for the energy to flow that way, that's what's going to happen. I really love that. Just like open to receiving. And of course, like with our hands, and when we talked about the mudras, when you have your hands open, it's like, yeah, okay, I'm ready to receive. So yeah, that's a beautiful practice. I like that.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then with
Yes,
the 21-day practice, is this something that you tell your students to focus on with level
I
one?
do.
Yeah.
I do. It was taught to me that way. And it's because of the 21 days Dr. Usui spent on the Mount Koriyama, what he spent in the cave for 21 days meditating. So that is the symbolism between obviously the 21 days they want you to practice, and then it's 21 days between levels 1 and level 2. That's how my traditional usui is. I think a lot of usui practices are like that. If you're learning level 1 and 2, I know there's a whole like people fire it out in all of a weekend, or they group 1 and 2 together. Mine really wanted that 21 days in between, and honestly I kind of like it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry if people maybe don't agree, but really you need to like get familiar with the energy before you start working on others. So right, level 2, you're really taking on clients and working and holding space for others. But like if you can't even scan your own body and feel the energy in your own body, how are you going to work on someone else? So I really think it's important to get familiar with that energy by working on yourself. And Christy and I have said this before, you can only take people as far as you've taken yourself.
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned first thing in the episode, if you're a clear channel, you're a better space for others too.
Yeah. 100%. You're not going to get triggered when things happen. It's like taking that
Mm,
accountability of your own self and your own energy is just so, so important. And yeah, it's just in this whole conversation, it's like I want to start a 21-day practice, and I want to journal it and just see where this goes. Because as I've shared before, consistency isn't my best friend, and it's like I'm always starting something and not finishing something. And I was thinking about that today, and you know what? Somebody linked it to, if someone has a problem with consistency, is the energy of birth control. So when you're on birth control, your body is thinking that you're going to be having a baby, right? So you're going through all these things. Your body's like, yep, we're going to have a baby. It's going to be great. And then no baby comes. So it's like you're not finishing that cycle. So it's like your whole body is tuning into like, let's start something, but we don't have the power to finish it. We don't have the energy to finish it. We're not worthy of finishing something. So that's always stuck with me. That's something that, interesting to think about. Food for thought if that resonates with anybody else. But yeah.
That's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm just like thinking, I mean, I haven't been on birth control in years. Like both Christy and I, we ditched that a long time ago because we didn't like the hormone shift, right? And what it does
Yes.
to a woman's body. But I mean, I definitely, I get it for a lot of women. It's very convenient. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, if that resonates with you,
Yeah. Yeah.
some food for thought.
And there is a homeopathic treatment to clear the energy of the birth control out of the system as well, which is really, really fascinating. And then I remember you read a really good book on birth control as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I do. I think it's so interesting. It's even like it even disrupts how you pick a partner in life
Yes, the
because your
pheromones.
hormones really aren't your own. So yeah, there's a lot. It's a lot to it. It's very good. I wish I could remember what that book was that I read. Darn,
Yeah.
it was years and years ago. But anyways, yeah, it sold me, and I I got off a bit.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's a whole other rabbit
yeah,
hole. Of course, we could go
yeah,
down.
totally.
But yeah. Okay. We'll get back to our topic here. So the other thing we wanted to talk about was like common blocks. So what could come up that could stop us from being consistent or like being like not perfect enough or what am I doing? And it's just I think well with myself, I always want things to be perfect. I won't start unless it's perfect. And it's like I really needed to surrender to that and just trust that to do those Reiki snacks whenever I had the time to do it instead of being like, I need to do it at 7 a.m. every morning. It's like, no, squeeze it in when you can. And it's, yeah, when like the coffee's brewing, do a little self treatment. And then I even heard of people like when they're on the toilet, do a little check in, like
Yep.
just those little things or brushing your teeth. It's just all these things that you can habit stack with other things, I think would be a great way to set yourself up for success. And the other thing I wanted to touch on was if you don't feel anything. It's like, that's okay. If you don't feel anything, just trust that the Reiki is doing something. And I feel like also like with a consistent practice, things are going to start to shift and change. And maybe you will start feeling something.
And honestly, I've had a lot of students too, and like even myself included, I'll be scanning my chakras and then all of a sudden like one spot I'll be like, oh, this either feels like nothing really, or maybe it's just really dim, but then move on and keep going down. Yeah, it's very common for people maybe not to feel as much energy somewhere as they do in other places, especially when you're working on yourself,
Yeah.
or even on a client, really, for that matter. But yeah, I know it's hard to kind of dedicate yourself. And I know what you mean, Christy, about like finding a routine, right? Because then it's easier when we have structure to fit it in. Because it's almost like we forget that, oh, I could have used that time to do Reiki, or I could
Mhm.
have used that time to do something else. But yeah, try to get it in whenever you can. And even like for me, I have little reminders on my phone. If you have an iPhone, there's a little reminder tab, and I just have one that pops up at 10 o'clock, and it's just like, do so and so. Right now, it's for me, it's do Kegels.
Yeah, that's a good
Because
idea.
trying to re-strengthen my pelvic floor. But for you, it could be like, hey, do 5 minutes of Reiki because it's 10 o'clock, so a notification will pop up in your phone. You could do things like that too to help you kind of overcome those blocks. And then, when you get into the habit of stuff, then it becomes routine and it's constantly in your mind. So things like that could definitely help. Or, even if you did a generic, like do it in the morning or at night, even that could help. So then you're not limiting yourself to a certain time, but
Mhm.
you need to do it before your day really starts or before it ends.
Yeah. And just flow into what feels right for you. Like maybe you're not a morning person. Maybe you'd rather do it at nighttime. And it's just not being perfect about it. I guess, but as I say that, it's like people work with different thrive in different environments. Some people like Virgo energy, like love schedule, love consistency.
Yeah.
And then like someone that is like kind of scattered, like me, it's like I really feel into the moment. It's like, oh, okay, in this moment, I feel like doing Reiki, so I'm going to do it rather than like having that structure. So it's really tuning into yourself and what feels best. And that consistency, I can't stress that enough. And I feel like I'm being a big hypocrite right now, but it's just like those little consistency moves the dial. And this makes me think of one of the women I work with. She had a group chat of us going, and every hour we would get up and do 10 squats. And I was like, oh, this is dumb. So I like kind of left the group chat. I was like, oh, I'm out. I don't want to do this. And this was probably about a year ago. And she consistently followed those little movement snacks. And then she was so inspired by the way it was helping her body and her strength by just doing those little movement snacks that she ended up working with a personal trainer. And like she's lost 40 pounds and she's killing it. So it's like you don't know where those little consistency little breaks in the day are going to take you. So it's just kind of a way to show that, you know, it's not these grand gestures that move the dial. It's the things that you do for yourself day in and day out, those little moments that you show up for yourself.
Absolutely. I love that she did that, right? Because that's how they say you can habit build is like those little things stacking.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And
So
that makes
motivating.
it is. It makes me think. I was like, damn, if I would have stuck to it, what would I? You know, it's like, damn.
Yeah. Quads of steel you'd have now.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the girls the other day, there's a group of them still doing it. They get up and do squats or just walk in place or go do the stairs. And I was like, yeah, because working at a desk job, you become pretty sedentary where it's like, oh, 3 hours has gone by and I haven't even got up. Like, this is not good.
Especially if you're in a zone. Yeah. Next thing you know, you like go to sit straight and it's like crunching everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But you know, I've really been relying on self Reiki right now, especially. And even when I was in labor and delivery, like I was trying to pull on that, even though the pain was fast and furious. I was still trying to be conscious about it, which I don't know. Maybe it helped. I don't know. It went pretty quick, but especially now with recovery and even my recovery, because I've been conscious of talking nice to my body. Because I remember last time when I was healing with Bo, I remember being so annoyed and like kind of angry that it was taking forever and I just wanted to get back and feel good. Well, I'm sure that only slowed down my healing process.
Yeah.
So I'm very conscious about it now. And it's way better. I also had a natural delivery or a vaginal delivery as opposed to a C-section. So that's a game changer in its own. That's like comparing apples to oranges. But yeah, just giving myself Reiki too, just even when I have headaches or I'm fatigued, right? Even just like helping with my energy levels. Like it's a really good thing. So even if you're tired and you don't want to do it, you know, giving yourself Reiki can really help boost your energy. And even my dad's been sending me Reiki at night. He loves to do his
Oh,
Reiki at night and just like sending me energy for the day, which is wonderful. Yeah.
that is wonderful. I love that he's doing that.
I know. Me too.
Yes.
Yes, please, Dad.
Yeah.
It's my
Yes.
turn to receive now.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, I love that you have that positive dialogue with yourself because that can go a long ways. Like, holy cow, that makes a big difference. And it's cool to think about, you know, pairing Reiki with like the positive talk and then like doing other things. It's like Reiki can just like pair with so many different things. It's like ranch or ketchup, you know, it's like good on so many different things. It's just like,
Yeah.
I must be hungry. There's so many food references today, but
It's funny.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good place to end. Do you have anything else to share?
Yeah. No, I'm good too.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
should we get into the card pull to
Absolutely.
yes.
See. Shift things around over here. Oh, right. So I'm using my Psychic Tarot deck, and I honestly don't know if I've used this recently or not. So bear with me. Uh, well, cards came flying out. Oh, wow. Okay, so we have the Moon card, the World, of the
Oh.
universe, patience, and at the bottom of the deck is triumph. We got all major arcana cards, which is hilarious. And it's actually really fitting because we're in April and we're going through this new beginning and new year energy. So major arcana cards is all about like major shifts happening in life. So we have the moon card, so it's like that shadow self and really looking into yourself. And we're all about completing cycles with the world card too. It's like things are finally becoming full circle and are being closed off. So a lot of you who are trying to get like a new beginning and get things going, you could be holding on to some old stuff that hasn't fully been able to kind of complete yet. So honestly, even if it's like something like that needed to close off, like even like a breakup or a friendship that just, you needed to have that last conversation, or they needed to finally get that CD out of your car. Ha, CD. Nobody will know what that is. They needed to get like whatever out of your car. And it's like that finally happened. So now that's wrapped up. And so now you can get ready to go a-blazing into the new. So I know people who can get really frustrated when things aren't moving fast enough. I have the Chariot card showing up as a flip card at the bottom. So that's all about that quick movement paired with the patience. Card. So it's just like, we want things to move at a pace that we think we should. And we're in a time of like instant gratification, right? So it's really hard when things take, 4 to 6 weeks to heal, which is me right now. And it's like we want those things now, but we have to know that once we get clear on our intentions, so really work with this. The moon cycles coming up. That's the other thing with this moon card. Work with these moon cycles in April. Get really clear on what you want and just hold the faith, and then practice the art of being patient and knowing that what you're asking for is already here. It's already here. You just need to put it out there and then allow it to manifest in. And then things will get more accelerated and will come through. And even if you're speaking it out loud too, that's even going to help quicken things up, because we can think it and we can hold it into our belief system, but even if we talk about it and voice it out even louder, it almost brings a stronger punch into what we want and what we want to manifest, especially if we're trying to create a new beginning. Yeah, and get our new path going. So think about what that wants. Let the old stuff really finally clear out, which is really good timing going into April. And then we're going into this brand new energy that will happen. Just get clear on what we want here.
Ooh. Yeah, major arcana. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I actually really like that energy. So it's like big shifts are happening, not just like subtle little things. It's like, all right, time to take out the big guns and get them
Yeah.
shifted.
And that just
Yeah.
is so in line with everything that we talked about and the whole Aries season, clearing things out, releasing in that Pisces new moon. Now we're ready to move
Right.
in. So, yeah. And
Totally.
being intentional about the full moon too. Maybe I need to get back into my full moon rituals here, like maybe just like a journaling practice or doing even say self Reiki with letting things go on that full moon. So, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I actually, well, after we talked about like the moon cycles, I really want to make sure that I am getting back into, especially this month, with like all the changes I've been experiencing, to get back into working with those moon cycles for sure.
Yes,
Yeah,
there's so much
especially for
power
right now.
in the moon. Like I actually have a homeopathic remedy named Luna that was
Oh,
is made or it has the moon energy in it to help you with your cycle. So every cycle you're moving through. So it's interesting that I've been taking that remedy, but not listening to the moon cycle intentionally, but following it. Like my body's been following it without even me knowing it. So yeah, sorry, I'm just having all of these aha moments for after that reading coming through here.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. So, yes,
Okay.
you can find us at Living the Reiki Life on Instagram. And of course, we have our personal pages, and mine is The Birch Soul.
Yes, and mine is Ray with Manda. My bookings are still on hiatus at the moment because I'm not taking clients right now, but I am actually teaching a level 1 in April 19th, actually online, if anyone is interested in joining that. I had someone reach out and I'm like, yes, online teaching I can definitely do right now. I love teaching, so I'm super happy to incorporate at least that back in while I'm just kind of getting back into my flow. So if you're
Mhm.
interested in that, check it out. I'm going to create a booking on my online. But for regular clients right now, I am not. But go see Christy if you need a session. She's still
Yes.
taking Reiki clients, of course.
My door's always
Yes.
open. Yes.
Yeah. Holding the space while I can't.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
Good.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, thanks everyone.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed and get ready with or get started on your 21 days or just do a little Reiki
Mhm.
snacks. So, yeah. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Love that. Okay. Bye.
1, 2,